Lions changing the game this weekend. They're in Chicago to take on the Bears. You guys know where I stand with this. I've become kind of a little bit of a Justin Fields stan. The evolution's been quick, D-Mac, where I was a lot like everybody else that kind of just disregarded Justin Fields, didn't think a lot of him. But when you're dynamic with your feet, you are a problem. And can the Lions replicate what they did defensively against the Packers? Because I will say this, we forgot this because they won. Aaron Rodgers did get loose a couple of times running the football. He did, and they haven't had the best track record with mobile quarterbacks.
No, that's the whole thing, and I see it in the chat thread also, woodwardsports.com, is the fact that we sit back and sort of make Justin Fields beat you with his arm. That's sort of what we tried to do against Aaron Rodgers last week. You know, Justin Fields coming off Offensive Player of the Week. Oh, by the way, did I call Kirby Joseph? Like Terry, Kirby Joseph's effort last week. He won Defensive Player of the Week. Can he be a little bit better than good?
He did a very fine job.
That's where we were. We were a very fine job.
It's tough critic over there, but I got to take it. But anyway, so we'll see how Justin Fields started to get the shine. My question to you, Neil, right? Let's break it back because I have to, as my fandom goes, because you've always been on Tua. You've changed things towards Jalen Hurts before, like, hey, watch this.
I was first to the party.
What's that?
I was first to the party with the Jalen Hurts.
But what I'm saying is that, and you took time with Fields for whatever reason, the OSU, and didn't show you, but then he did, right?
Right.
And then he did show you something like that. So who would you say, my question to you, who's the last quarterback that you missed on? Would it be Justin Herbert?
Yeah, and
like
look.
but that's like we all either were in or out, right?
And I was the most wrong with Justin because every time I watch Justin Herbert, I get big Justin Herbert vibes in college from Will Levis, where every time I watch him, I'm like, what is it with this guy? And I was talking with my son yesterday. We were driving home after I picked him up from school, and he's kind of reading through, NFL mock drafts and things like that. And like every one of them had the Lions taking Will Levis. And I'm like, what is it with this guy? And that's where I was with Herbert. Every time I watched Oregon, and it wrapped up, I don't know if Sam Flannel remember the bowl game they played against Michigan State out in California, and I think it was Herbert had like 180 yards passing.
Wasn't that just kind of a defensive slugfest where no offense really did anything? But for the record, when we talk about Will Levis, I think Justin Herbert was considerably better in college than Will Levis. And what does that tell you?
Yeah.
This idea that Will Levis is going to be some top 5 pick, I just don't get it. I know you don't get it either. I've never seen it.
I'll say it right here. If Will Levis is good in the NFL, I missed it. I
want no part of that guy.
I keep saying or seeing him, and I'm like, so?
Yeah, and that's how I felt about Justin Herbert. And truth be told, I think that it's fair to say, while I was wrong about Justin Herbert, when's he going to make the step?
There's a throwing quarterback. When's the last? So, are you seeing stuff of Justin Fields when he played at OSU and was successful? Is that why it's translating now, or do you see something different in him? What is it that's changed in Justin Fields now? The running quarterbacks, the Lamars, the Jalen Hurts, the Justin Fields. It seems like the book is you let the book be out on them a little bit more, right?
And you know what it was, and I've noticed this with the Bears. And I noticed this kind of midstream, and I'm curious to get T-Foss's take on this. Like, Matt Eberflus and the Bears looked like they were trying to put the square peg in the round hole with Justin Fields through the first half of this season. About halfway through, it seems as though, Terry, they took what they do and kind of crumbled it up and threw it away and said, what can we do that fits Justin Fields? The coaching staff, the game planning, all of it seemed to be flexible with him. And now they're playing to that style. And now you saw him kind of stay in the fight with Tua. It was a gunslinging match between Fields and Tua. Now, Fields' weapons were his legs, to where Tua is the nearly 70% accuracy that matches his win percentage of every NFL game he's ever played in. His weapons were his feet. But, Terry, I do think it is that simple sometimes, to where when a staff sizes it up, you say, what does my guy do well? How can I make him successful? And this is where coaching ego, I think, comes into play way more than we even realize. Where a coach always has to be the smartest guy in the room. It's got to be my system. Eberflus, I said, you know what? This isn't working. What can we do with Justin Fields to put him in a position to succeed?
No, I totally agree with that. And plus, before Eberflus got there, I thought Justin Fields, his biggest problem, he was getting terrible coaching. But a lot of times coaches are like, all right, here's my system. How's he gonna fit in my system? I gotta do this, instead of saying, oh, you know what? I have a unique talent here. Let him do his thing. And
how can I facilitate it? And that's where the ego
don't do
comes
that.
in.
That's not their first instinct. It's like, you got to fit in my stuff.
Right.
I don't care who you are.
Why is that, D-Mac?
You know, ego sometimes, you're going to do it my way or instead of coming in. And a lot of times when you've had success, the difference between maybe a young guy trying to do it his way and not realizing everything else, right? Not at the experience of going, okay, I need to understand where my quarterback's comfortable, instead of saying, well, I'm going to implement this, because you're thinking these are pro guys, they can play this style or whatever else. What I've seen, it's a lot of things is his decision making. When Justin Fields isn't thinking, see, I look at him a lot like Kyler Murray, right? When he's reacting, do I see him playing football? Is he playing football, right? Which means, is he reacting? Is he that comfortability, right? Before it wasn't comfortable. Now he's not only uses his legs, but I know this for a fact because he was on my bench this week, but like Cole Kmet, his tight end. They're starting to use the tight end. They're starting to use, the security blankets for him to make him sort of more into this offense. And I think that the Chicago offense more transforms into a Baltimore Lamar Jackson offense than it does a Tua offense, right? To his arm, his legs. Right. So the fact is, I agree with Terry. It's coaching him. It's what you're trying to do. And we talk about with our team all the time. Put the players in the right schemes. It looks like last weekend here in Detroit, defensively, Aaron Glenn was more on top of that than he's been all year. Can he continue it in a different way against the Achilles heel? The running quarterback, right? That's what they face this week. So can they make the adjustments? The best part for us early on, let's send all the rookies out and go have some fun, boys. Go do your thing.
The mistake we make is we don't allow quarterbacks to grow into being good quarterbacks. We see them play their rookie year and say, oh, this guy sucks. That's been the case since the history of man. That's why they didn't play rookie quarterbacks in the National Football League when I was a lad.
Right.
But now you have that pressure. You got to play this guy. And they're going to be bad the first year and probably part of the second year. If you allow them to grow until late that second year, that third year, you might look at them and say, okay, this dude's not that bad. We don't allow that.